morning everyone. I am Siripurapu Hasini of class 10H from Vani Vidyalaya Senior Secondary and Junior College, Chennai. Just like Nelson Mandela once said, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. This story, From Darkness to Dawn, carries the same spirit, the journey of finding light even in the darkest times. In a quiet village surrounded by golden fields, there lived a boy named Arav. He was just 16, but his eyes has already seen too much. Fear, injustice and silence. In Arav's village, a cruel ruler named Raghavan controlled everything, the land, the crops and even people's voices. No one was allowed to question him. If anyone dared to speak against his unfair taxes or harsh punishments, they would be taken away, never to return. So people stopped speaking. They started to live in silence. They even learned to fear their own words. But Arav couldn't. Every morning he saw soldiers snatch away food from hungry farmers and laugh at their tears. He saw his father kneel before the tax collector and his mother hide her pain. Something inside him whispered, if no one speaks, who will change this? And that whisper grew stronger each day until it became the voice of courage. One morning, when the sun rose over the field, Arav climbed onto a rock in the village square. His heart pounded, but his voice was steady. And he shouted, we deserve freedom. We deserve respect. The villagers froze in shock. No one had dared to say such words. Before he could say more, the soldiers caught him and dragged him away. The villagers looked down, afraid, pretending not to see anything. But the fire in Arav's eyes has already lit a spark in their heart. Days passed, weeks passed. Arav did not return, but his words echoed in the air. Children whispered them, farmers repeated them under their breath, and slowly silence began to break. One morning, the entire village gathered again in the same square, but this time they were not afraid. They held hands, stood tall, and together they shouted, we deserve freedom, we deserve respect. The soldiers hesitated. They had never seen such unity before. Even Raghavan, watching from his palace, felt powerless before their courage. He realized fear could no longer control them. That evening, he ordered Arav's release. When Arav stepped out of the dark prison cell, the entire village was waiting for him. Tears rolled down his mother's face as she hugged him tightly. Arav looked around. The same people who had once bowed in fear were now standing proud, faces glowing with hope. He smiled and said, I entered the prison alone, but we broke the chains together. From that day, the village was never silent again. People learned to speak, to dream, and to live without fear. That day, the sun didn't just rise in the sky. It rose in every heart that had once lived in fear. And just as Nelson Mandela reminded the world, our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the others, the people in this story found their voice, not only for themselves, but for everyone around them. Thank you.